I get it. You're someone out there who's recently started your journey to sobriety and becoming alcohol free. And I know it's tempting out there, but in this video, I want to give you 5 things that can ruin your sobriety so you can avoid them and keep igniting your sobriety. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Jamie Daddy Garza, and it's time to ignite your sobriety. Say hi, Sita. My daughter loves being on camera and she wants to help me assist in this video, and that's what we're gonna do today. And in this video, I wanna tell you about 5 things that can ruin your sobriety and ruin your streak. As someone who is officially embarked on 690 days alcohol free, it's not easy. And I've stumbled across the way, I've came short a lot of times on this journey. She knows, you weren't even born yet, so how do you know? Oh, she must have heard, okay? But I want to make sure you guys don't do the same things, and that's the purpose of this video, because alcohol free is the best way to live. The first thing, you gotta watch the places you visit, man, because they can spark a memory and they can spark a relapse. Our mind is super powerful, and going to certain locations can trigger habits, because that's what happens over time. For example, I remember a time there was like this wing spot that I absolutely loved in town called Buffalo Moe's. They had the best Old Bay wings, okay? But I always got a brew with my Old Bay wings. I remember when I initially wanted to stop drinking completely, every time I would go to this location and go to this spot, I always fell short by getting a glass of Stella or a beer of choice I chose. Now, at that time, I didn't think I was hardcore alcoholic, but I was still drinking a lot. And the fact of the matter is I was still addicted. If I could do things different, for example, I would still go to that place and maybe try getting a ginger ale, or maybe getting a ice cold beverage instead. Something fizzy, of course, but definitely non-alcoholic. Of course, I wasn't thinking about that at the time. Your boy was on some YOLO. We only live once, and let's go ahead and take advantage. Since we here. You can't not have a beer when you're eating some bomb Old Bay wings. Well, since then, I've been alcohol free. I don't even eat chicken no more. I have been vegetarian for almost 4 years now, so there goes that. Watch where you go, watch your environment, and be careful out here, okay? You might be someone out there who is overconfident, and you have this overconfidence that, yes, put me in anywhere, put the whole bar in front of me. I'm superior, I can resist anything. Be careful now, buddy. Don't get too cocky. I've done that, and I've also seen people in my comments do that, where they got overconfident and they thought they was higher above. They thought they could be around alcohol. They thought they didn't have temptation for it. They thought that they could resist. Well, discipline's tough, okay? And discipline will humble you. When you become overconfident, what tends to happen in our mental is that it may lead to you falling short and taking a drink. Who knows if there's gonna be peer pressure around where you are when you're overconfident. The best way to combat this is just to have humility, to understand the situation, to realize that, you know what, I am practicing the discipline here. I'm trying to living the best life I can, taking it day by day, and really just honing in on your continuous self-awareness in this process. Another thing that can ruin your sobriety is being bored. You know the old saying, idle hands is the devil playground? Well, when boredom strikes, you won't believe what you might do. Some of us might be mindlessly scrolling on the internet because they're bored, wasting all that time towards their goals, towards whatever they may be wanting to accomplish. The same goes for boredom. That may spark something in you, like, let's go ahead and drink. I know for me, before I had children, before I was essentially living on my own, before I was living with my partner, I got bored a lot. I used alcohol as a crutch to make things fun. I used it was a fantasy land for me. Someone who was creative, creating videos, graphic designs at the time. I was always trying to be some creative, and whenever I was sober, it was boring to me. So I drank a lot. I drank just to replace that, and eventually over time, week after week, month after month, what ended up happening is I would associate boredom by not drinking. And I realized how bad that got for me, not only mentally, but also health-wise, as I continued to go down this slippery slope of relying on alcohol. I encourage you guys, if you're bored, to find some extracurricular activities. Maybe it's going out for walks. Maybe it's using that time to strategize on a goal that you want to accomplish this year. You have to start searching within yourself to come up with that answer. But the more you can occupy your mind, the more you could be busy and active doing something, the better it would be. That's one of the reasons why in owning a business and being an entrepreneur, there's always something for me to do. Kids keep me occupied. My family keeps me occupied. My goals keep me occupied. You guys showing up on this YouTube channel when I'm creating content keeps me occupied. So there's no time to be bored. And if there's no time to be bored, it's less likely that you will choose to have a drink instead. Just like everything else, this next thing is more than just something to help you not ruin your sobriety, but it's watching the company you surround yourself with. The truth of the matter is, there's an old saying out there that says that the 5 people you surround yourself with is an indication of who you will be. I probably jacked that quote up, but you guys are getting where I'm going. Recently, even with some strawberries, there's one bad strawberry in the bunch and it affected everything else. I speak to a lot of leaders today and they run their companies and they tell me it's hard running a company. It's so simple, but so hard. And it's because some people are bad apples and they start polluting others. And the same goes for the company you keep. You might love them. They might be your own family. They may be your best friends. They may be people who you've been down with since day one. But their goals and their vision doesn't align to yours. And what could happen more than likely is that you'll always go back because maybe they might be pressuring you. Maybe they want to belittle your idea like, oh, you can't get sober, man. Who you think you are? You think you better than me now? Like, you never know. And it's toxic. Because at the end of the day, we have to live for us. We are blessed to even have this body and this vehicle. At the end of the day, it's us in this right now. And we got to make the best decisions for us. And if you're someone like me who has some children or people that rely on you, it's even more important to keep showing up that way. I remember when I was falling back from alcohol, even one of my best friends, we used to go to the bar a lot. I still love him, but I remember for a time I drifted off a little bit because I didn't want to go to the bar and I didn't even want to be tempted. And I was in a space of just developing myself. And you know what the great thing about that was? He completely understood and he encouraged me to keep going and go on my path. I was trying to get right, not only for myself, but for my family. I was trying to get it together, quote unquote, as they say. I'm getting myself together. And I had to develop all this and I had to get in tune. You definitely want to support yourself with people who are supporting you, friends, family, people you meet on the journey. And that may be also seeking out communities here online to keep you accountable and keep that positivity going so you can look forward to and aspire to remaining sober. And last but not least, the last thing that can ruin your sobriety is not getting to the root of the issue. This was reflecting back, you know, as someone who has been drinking for like 15 years, I can now say like the root of my issues of alcoholism was the fact that I wasn't able to have proper coping mechanisms for when things didn't go my way. Times my pain was in pain, my heart was in pain for things that I was not able to properly deal with, my emotions. And once I got hip to alcohol, I became so reliant of that, especially in my 20s, that when I started to develop into my early 30s, it was true and apparent that there was a bigger underlying issue. Some underlying issues that you may encounter may be stress, it may be mental health, maybe past traumas. For me, it was a mix of a lot of those things with me. And the more you go on with that, the more dangerous it becomes, not only for your mind, your mental, but also your physical. I understand that not everyone may be able to do this alone. Me personally, I've never went to support groups or AA or professional therapy or services, so I can't speak on that. However, I've heard it's beneficial, and if that's something that you feel convicted to do, then please seek help in that department. If you're someone like me, it has definitely been a journey, and you'll know when it's time. But I encourage you guys to take it step by step, day by day. And if you're someone like me who was relying on alcohol for well over 15 years of my life, it's not always easy making the first step of wanting to quit. It's not so easy staying motivated on this journey. It's not so easy actually having the discipline to keep on showing up like this, to keep saying no, to keep rising above. I'm not perfect, y'all. And I don't look at sobriety as a perfect thing. I shared in the last video I posted that I was going through a lot of storms in my life, a lot of stress, and there was a certain time I feel like the enemy wanted me to go back to my vomit. And I wanted to drink alcohol, not for the taste of it, but I wanted to get over my problems and numb the pain. And that was my idea. And I'm so glad that I didn't go that route and I stayed the path, and I'm here for you guys talking about it, understanding about it, and keeping it real about it. And hopefully this advice can help you no matter where you're at on your journey of sobriety. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button for me. Drop in the comments where you're at in your sobriety. Are you 1 day in? Are you 1 week? Are you 1 month? Or maybe you're going on 700 days like your boy. Maybe you're beyond that. And I salute you. I salute each and every one of you for wanting to take control back of your life and become the best version of yourself. If you want to see more videos like this, I encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. Hit the red button. Thanks for watching. Ignite your sobriety.